In Game 1 of the doubleheader and Game 2 of this series, Dr. Baseball from the Bobcat perspective ordered up the proper prescription. Then Ohio was able to get Jake Rowan right and paint it green and white. 5-4 was the final in the opener. Now it's Game 2 of the doubleheader and Game 3 of this series. So we welcome you back to Bobcat Baseball. With Max McDulin, I'm Russ Eisenstein. Daniel's back in our WOUB studios. This is the rubber game of the three-game series, and it is an absolutely picture-perfect Saturday afternoon here in southeast Ohio. Temperatures near 80, brilliant sunshine. The rain's going to stay away, at least for this game anyway. And Ohio has a huge one in front of them, trying to get to 18 and 16 on the year and 6 and 6 in Mid-American Conference play. Eastern Michigan's 12 and 20 and 6 and 5 in the MAC. Ohio won the opener 5-4, won it with a run to the bottom of the 8th inning. There was a double, a sac fly, and then Ohio took the lead. Rowan came in the 9th after Eddie Cutt gave up a leadoff single, but he was able to slam the door, and Ohio had so much that they needed to go their way in Game 1, and now you rolled over to Game 2, and you can win this series.
Yeah, no, and really when you look at Game 1 last night, you kind of saw a game that we saw as being missed opportunities. When you look at Game 2, there were a couple missed opportunities, but the Bobcats were able to execute in the moments that mattered most, and most importantly, late in the game, they got a runner on, they moved the runner over, and they got the runner in, and then they got their man, their closer, Jake Rowan, in the game, and he finished things off.
So here are the starting lineups if you're ready. First for Eric Roof and the Eastern Michigan University Eagles. Leading off and playing in center field is Nate Jones. Hitting second is Max Schumann. His new average is at .248. Schumann is 0 for 8 in this series, one of the league's better hitters. Zach Owens' average is up to .358. He's at third. He hits third. Cleanup is the left fielder, Jeff Timko. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Colton Schenker. Catching today and hitting sixth is Nick Jones. Batting seventh, the DH, John Rensel Jr. Batting eighth and playing at second base is Jared Kaufman. He was the hero of Game 1 of the series at Eastern won 6-4. And rounding out the lineup and playing in right field is Shane Easter. Pitching is Luke Devaney. He wears number 2, 6 foot 185, and a senior from Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa is where Luke Devaney is from. He's making his 9th start. Now for Rob Smith and the Ohio Bobcats. Leading off and playing in center field is Devin Garcia. Hitting second, the second baseman is Aaron Levy. In the 3-hole, the first baseman, Rudy Rott. Tanner Picnic's the DH. Hitting cleanup. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Tony Giannini. Dan McCauley hits sixth. He catches. Ryan Sargent, the right fielder, bats eighth. Sebastian Fabic gets the start in left field. He bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup is the shortstop, Traben Thunderberg, who had a base hit, 2 of them, in fact, in Game 2. He rounds out the Bobcat 9 and plays it short. Michael Klein will start. This is his first start since being injured at Bowling Green in the back opening weekend. This is his 9th appearance. This is his 7th start. He's 3-0 with a 4.50 ERA. They only anticipate him going maybe an inning or 2 tops, but this is important to try to get him back right. And Klein feeling confident. He has 17 strikeouts this year, 14 walks. And so Ohio has a chance to win this series right now after winning the opener of the doubleheader. And first pitch will come at 12:21. And this game time temperature is 80 brilliant degrees. Klein on the mound, Nate Jones in the box. First pitch is a bouncing ball headed to center. It's there for a base hit. Just to the right is second. 1 pitch, 1 base hit for Nate Jones. That is his 28th hit of the year and 111 plate appearances. He is now 2 for 11 in the series. He doubled, remember, early on, or rather late in Game 2, but tried to stretch it into a triple. He was off the bases. There were 2 outs in that inning, and then Schumann hit. And Ohio got out of that inning with the game tied at 4, but then they eventually won it with a run in the bottom of the 8th. Here is Schumann, who is 0 for the series, now hitting .348. Has 4 home runs and 21 runs batted in, and the first one's a strike. It is 0-1. Brian Miller's behind the plate, Mike Martin at first, Bob Howard at third. The Mid-American Conference umpiring crew, and they made a change. They went to the powder blue tops. which is a good look. Ohio in green tops, white pants. Eagles in green tops, gray pants. And the pitch misses inside. It is 1-1. Normally, you won't see two greens at the same time. But based on what Eastern brought, they've got the green tops with Eastern in script across the chest. Good-looking Adidas uniforms. Ohio with the arch to Ohio in black on that green uniform top. Schumann has a 1-1 count on him. And the pitch. Outside, it's 2-1.
It is kind of interesting, even though it does look a little odd. In baseball, you can get away with that a little more than football, for example, having similar uniforms, or soccer, or any other sport where everybody's on the field at the same time. Baseball's a little different like that.
Schumann's 0 for 8 in the series. He did get on base in the first game of the doubleheader with the walk. Left-handed bat, runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second, hops in there with Levy taking the throw. It's a stolen base. And the Eagles haven't been the thickest of thieves in this series. That's the 4th and 10 attempts for Jones this year. That is their 63rd stolen base. They have two guys that have over 10, Owings and Schumann. So a runner in scoring position already against Klein. Outfield shades him to hit the other way. There's a lot of room in left center field. 2-2 pitch coming from Klein. Swinging a fly ball, hammered to left and deep. It carries. It's back to the warning track. It's playable there for Fabic, and he makes the catch. Tagging at third and tagging at second and trying for third is Jones, and he got in there just ahead of the tag. That was supplied by Giannini, and he can't believe it. Rob Smith out of the dugout now. That is a really risky play. It was in front of him in the outfield, but Jones did try to slide in there. And I can't believe it. That ball was there. The tag we thought was there too, but he's called safe.
I must have seen something completely different than what happened, because I don't know how he could be safe. He wasn't at the bag before he was tagged. No way. And the tag didn't miss him, but hey, whatever.
Argument over. Giannini still can't believe it, pounces offhand into his mitt. And that is a risky play from Jones to get over to third on the fly ball out. Oh, my. There have been some issues here. Eastern Michigan had a base runner collide with an umpire in Game 2 of the series, Game 1 of this doubleheader, and he didn't get back to the bag that he was at. He tried to get down to second, and he was thrown out. That ended an inning, in fact. Runner at third, one gone, and the pitch is popped up. This is on the infield from Zach Owings, and this is near second. It's caught by the shortstop, Funderburg. And there's out number 2 and a runner at third. Wow. So 2 gone. Klein trying to get out of it. And here is Jeff Timko, who's hitting .314. Owings, 1 for 3 in Game 1 of this doubleheader, 2 for 5 last night. So 3 for 8, now 3 for 9 in the series. Timko is their cleanup hitter and left fielder. Timko 0 for 3 in Game 1 today, 1 for 4 last night. Right-handed bat, back of the box. Waits, takes inside from Michael Klein. It's 1-0. And even though there's some traffic here, it would be huge for Klein back in a starting role to be able to get out of the first inning with a 0 up on the board for the Eagles. Timko waits, gently rocks that bat up and down, and the 1-0 up and in, 2-0. Timko originally committed to Central Michigan to play football out of high school, but then elected to come to Eastern Michigan to play baseball. Had a change of heart. 2-0 the count. Runner at third with 2 gone. And the pitch from Klein. Low and outside, 3-0. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but yeah, that sweep last year, that was a rough weekend in Ypsilanti. The wind was blowing out, and the Eagles just kept mashing the ball all over the place. As we broadcast it outside, we couldn't paint all that pretty of a Bobcat picture. There's a strike. It is 3-1. We stayed in Ann Arbor. Remember going out on that Saturday night, dinner and whatnot, and then to the ballpark, and we thought, well, take one in the series. Nope. 3-1 the count, 2 gone, runner at third. Klein trying to get out of it in the pitch. Swinging a line shot to left. To his left is Fabic. On the run, dives. Made the catch! A headlong dive to plug up the gap and to keep the Eagles off of the scoreboard. Fabulous. Fabic flashes the leather. And Eastern's done in the first. Klein got a whole lot of help from his friend and left. Nothing for Eastern Ohio coming up. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. So here is Aaron Levy up in the 2-hole here, and he rifles one to left center field for a base hit. He's thinking to double out of the box, rounding first, going to second. Up with the ball is the center fielder, Nate Jones. The throw in is cut off and late, and a sliding double for Aaron Levy. That is his 6th two-bagger of the season. Levy, who's been down in the lineup a little bit more in the first 2 games, was 1 for 4 in the first game of the doubleheader, 0 for 5 in the first game of the series yesterday, and he doubles to left. So here's Rudy Rott. Runner in scoring position, 1 gone, bottom of the first. Ohio on the hunt for a series win. Rott 1 for 5 last night. First game of the doubleheader today, 3 for 3. The homer occurred last night. So he has 4 hits in the series, has made a lot of good plays at first defensively. Levy on at second, 1 gone, bottom of the first. And Ohio trying to scratch out a run here to start. They are as deep as you could get. And this is popped up to left, and this might dump in. On the run, Timko settles under the ball and makes the catch. 2 gone.
Yeah, just hung up too long. If it wasn't as high, it definitely would have had a chance to drop in with as deep as these outfielders have been playing all weekend long. And it really is incredible. This is not a small ballpark. I mean, it's 340 down the lines, but It goes 380 to the power alleys and 405 to dead center. It gets deep quick. But Eastern Michigan still, as the outfielders shade to the left, I mean, look, they are 15 feet from the wall and left.
Here is Tanner Picnic. He's homered in this series. Homered last night. Ohio's dual threat guy, the DH, so really a three-trick pony. Takes a strike. It is 0-1.
Catcher.
Yeah.
Outfielder.
Yeah.
Designated hitter.
Yeah.
Maybe he can even pitch if you need a mop-up guy.
We haven't seen that really all that much. A position guy pitch for the Bobcats.
No.
Runner at second is Levy. 2 gone. The 0-1 is a strike. It is 0-2.
It's normally a good sign when you're not seeing that regularly. That would be a bad thing.
Just a frisbee tosser up there who might be your second baseman.
Yeah, not a good thing.
Picnic, new average at 330. Hits on the right-hand side. Back of the box in the pitch. Kind of a half-hearted swing and a miss. It is dropped and then picked up by the catcher, Jones, who throws to first in time for the out. So Nick Jones catching, and he records the strikeout with Devaney. That is the 28th strikeout of the year. That's the first for Devaney today. Ohio had a double with 1 out, stranded that runner. We're through with 1. Game 3 of the series, Game 2 of the doubleheader. With Max McDulin, I'm Russ Eisenstein, and this is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. Out their,
most people are working out their livers today in Athens.
Their 12-ounce or 16-ounce curls.
Yeah.
Colton Schenker to lead it off, 5, 6, and 7 for the Eagle flock, and the first one from Michael Klein misses outside the left-handed hitter. It's 1-0. Schenker, their first baseman. He is 28 for 104 this year. Schenker crouches, left-hand box, swing and a miss, swung through a breaking ball.
Nasty pitch there, decided to swing at that one late.
Schenker 1 for 4 in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 1 of the series, he went 2 for 5, so he's had a good offensive outing here in the Hocking Hills. This is rifled to right for a base hit. Line drive that dumps in for Schenker. That is Eastern's second hit of the day. And here is Nick Jones, who is catching. Nick was at third base in the first 2 games of the series. Injuries have been an issue for Ohio this season, obviously, and Klein back on the mound, but they've also been an issue for Eastern Michigan, too. Davis Feldman, their Friday night starter, lost for the year. Tommy John surgery. Last outing was at Oklahoma State, so they're without their top starter. Jones takes a strike. It's 0-1. Nick's new average at 227, no home runs and 14 runs batted in. Nick in Game 1 of the doubleheader went 0 for 3. Last night went 2 for 4. Brad Allen moved to the bullpen. They also have 2 position player starters that are out to injury.
Boy, it's got to be a hot day for Rufus down there.
Yeah, he's wearing the short pants today and a green T-shirt. out on the right field side. 1-1 the count. Their leadoff man and center fielder lost for the year. He broke his ankle in the Youngstown State game 2 weeks ago. It's Cameron Cruz. He's from Chandler, Arizona. Pitch misses outside from Klein. Also, their second baseman, Drake Peggs, was injured during practice before the Oklahoma State series earlier this year. So, yeah, they're looking at Ohio from a pitching standpoint, the injuries, but they've got some guys with some clipped wings in that Eagle dugout. A lot of injuries there, but they've played through it. Hit and run on, bouncing ball to the left side. It's going to find its way into left field for a base hit. Up with the ball in left is Fabic, trying to get to third, and there is Schenker as the ball was bobbled momentarily by Fabic in left. This is a humbling sport. Runners on the corners, nobody gone. Top of the second, scoreless game. Fabic was fabulous as he flew to flush the Eagles out an inning ago, but there a little extra bobble might have cost him a throw to third. And so you're only as good sometimes as your next play, and you'll have ups and downs throughout a contest. And he was going to third probably anyway. There would have been a play on him, but now here's Rensel Jr. with runners on the corners and nobody out in the top of the second in a scoreless game. So here is Rensel Jr. This is his first start. We saw him a couple of times already in this series. He's a .240 hitter with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Left-handed bat. Ohio would love a double play here. They give it up and give up the run if they get that double play. Giannini in even with the bag and just beyond the cut of the grass, off of the sack at third. That's where Schenker is. Jones is at first. Rensel Jr., their DH, wears 34. Open stance. Good build to him. Black bat, 2 black batting gloves. Waits for Michael Klein, and there's a fake to third, throw to first, but back in time is Jones. Eastern's former head coach, Mark Vandermeed, is now the assistant coach at Michigan State. The Spartans struggling this year. They have 10 wins. Klein from the stretch. Rensel Jr. waits. Time called. Klein, ooh my. Continued the pitch, and that was something that buzzed the tower of Rensel Jr. Wow. That was a late call on a time that was granted by the umpire. Klein continued the throw, and that was eye high to him.
And it's been a theme in all 3 of these games where Eastern Michigan has been getting and granted time late. Last night, Rob Smith had a long conversation with the home plate umpire after, it ended well. It didn't start so good, but it was a problem last night. So, just a little buzz by.
So runners on the corners here, 1-0 the count. Klein from the stretch, making his first start since Bowling Green. And here it is, hit on the ground towards second. To his left is Levy. Slick turn to second for 1. On to first, it's in time. Double play, a twin killing and a big one. Run comes in to score. It's 1-0 Eastern. Double play number 32 on the year for the Bobcats, number 1 in the league in that department. And that had to be a quick sort of glove and throw exchange. But Levy to Funderburg to Rote, 4-6-3. Run comes in to score. Eastern scratches out the first tally of the ball game. And here is Kaufman. Ask and you shall receive, a double play. That's exactly how it should always work. Here is Kaufman, a .253 hitter. First pitch, he bunts up the third base chalk. It just trickles foul.
FYI, there is a Bobcat warming up in the bullpen. I was wondering how quickly that might occur, as Rob Smith pretty much said that they hope to get an inning or 2 out of Klein. We'll see if maybe if he gets through this next batter, if they try and squeeze a third, but there is a righty warming up right now. Going to be a busy day for the bullpen here in Game 3, most likely. And I doubt we see Rowan again after he threw already today, of course, getting the save in Game 1, but there's plenty of guys still available in that bullpen.
Kaufman, their second baseman, hits on the right, wears 15 in white. 2 batting gloves, rocks the bat, and the pitch. Line drive just into center field for a base hit. To the left of Funderburg, who reached out his glove, couldn't make the play. Solidly struck for their 8-hole hitter, and here is Easter, their 9-man and right fielder. So in position and in the lineup. There are connections, obviously. Mark Vandermeer, very likable head coach, was there for 3 years. We saw them in the championship game last year and also had a win, a couple of them in the MAC tournament 2 years ago. But he was an assistant at Michigan State, took the job at Eastern 3 years, and now he's back and potentially making more money as an assistant. There's a strike. It is 0-1. You might ask why he would leave for that, but you talk about lining yourself up for the future and obviously maybe financially too. But they only have 10 wins this year. They have been good in previous years. Jake Boss Jr. is MSU's coach. Former head coach at Eastern Michigan, took them to a tournament title in 2008. Throw to first got away, but time was called at the plate. Or time was granted on the field anyway, and so that throw over didn't matter. Eric Roof, the head coach of the Eagles, and A.J. Actor, they were battery mates at Michigan State as well, so a whole lot of, yes, I am hungry. Yeah. Whatever you got, man, I'm sure it's great. Runner at first, and the 0-1. Fly ball down the line and right. It's curling towards the corner, and that is a foul ball. Rick from Concessions came over. And he kind of just motioned up, "You hungry?" And so we said yes.
Yes, indeed. Long doubleheader day at the ballpark.
Sometimes the best conversations are done without words.
Yes, just signals.
Point and the signal of eating something. 0-2 the count. So there are connections between Eastern and Michigan State that will continue on.
Yeah.
And more than just them sharing green. 0-2 the count, 2 gone, top of the second, 1-0 EMU. Long at bat here for Easter against Klein. With a runner holding, and that's high. It is 1-2. And Eastern and MSU will play Comerica Ballpark on April the 24th. That's been a cool thing. Some of the schools in Michigan have played games at Comerica over the years, and that's got to be fun for everybody involved. A lot of Tiger fans, I'm sure, on these ball clubs. 1-2 pitch, misses inside. It is 2-2. Actually, at our funeral earlier this week, saw the beat writer from the Lansing newspaper, Graham Couch, who is a really good writer and one of our friends. And he said that more stuff was coming out this week, and boy, he was right up in Lansing about the men's basketball program there. 2-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to first, wrote right at the bag, knocked it down in fair ground. That was inches fair. Knocked it down, and he stuck his left foot on the sack for the out. And Rote continues to man that side hot corner very well, in addition to having a good hitting series. We're through with 1.5. Eastern does score on a double play ball. 1-0 Eagles. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB.
Number 14, Tony Giannini.
ballpark weekend here, and there is one fluffy white dog behind home plate. I don't know dog breed names, but it's a cute, fluffy dog. There you go. Here's Tony Giannini to start it off, and the first one's a strike. It's 0-1. 1-0 Eastern Michigan. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Tony G, a .259 hitter now. Ohio's 5-hole hitting third baseman. Back on the bump is Luke Devaney. Center fielder turned pitcher, and he takes one low and outside, does Giannini. It's 1-1. The first ever dog day at the ballpark was at then Comiskey Park, the new one, south side of Chicago. 1-1, that's low, it's 2-1. And actually, a family friend of ours was the one that brought the idea to the White Sox. Melinda Metzger introduced the idea, and the Sox ran with it, and that was the first ever dog day at the ballpark. 2-1 pitch, that's low, it's 3-1. Actually just saw her earlier this week. And the Sox were the first one to do it, and now everybody is getting involved in the act. That was a $1 million idea that has paid her nothing. Swing and a miss, it's 3-2. You'll see that minor league parks and big league parks all over. And it's amazing, the dogs have all been pretty well behaved. You don't hear a whole lot of stories.
Yeah, I have always been surprised by that, actually.
Payoff pitch is fouled back to the screen. It's 3-2. What was that movie with the dog and the newspaper writers, Marley?
Jeez, why'd you have to bring that up?
But anyway, the positive part of that is they took Marley to the ballpark and he ran on the field at then Pro Player Stadium. Surprised you don't see that more. Bouncing ball topped foul up the chalk at third. And the count holds at 3-2. Marley and me.
We could not take our husky to bark in the park. No way.
You have a husky?
Yes. There is no way that Nike, our
right,
husky,
we've talked about that.
There is no way that she could.
Is she coming to the games at Miami?
Oh, of course, because you have to meet her.
I do. Good at bat for Giannini. Took one high. So that double clearly fired him up, and he did eventually score the game-winning run in game one of this doubleheader, and there's a walk for Devaney. Devaney does throw a slider that's an above-average pitch for him. His fastball at about 88 to 91. His best pitch is a two-seam fastball, effective to right-handed hitters. And he starts off Dan McCauley for a strike on the inside edge. McCauley up to the 6th hole. He did homer last night, and he was able to hit that fly ball to bring in the go-ahead run and eventual winning run in game one of the doubleheader. Shoots his foul, first base side, out of play. Roof is still watching things. The only Bobcat, the only cat that I'm not allergic to down the right field line. Softball is underway. And put up 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning. They just are a aluminum company. 4-0. It looks like going to the bottom of the third. Ohio trying to win its 7th in a row. Jody Ermanic's crew trying to go 13-1 in the MAC.
They keep this up, they're going to start receiving votes.
No doubt. Pitch misses inside. It's 2-2 on Dan McCauley, Ohio's catcher, who's a .250 hitter. And we're going to get a delivery here from the best grill in the MAC. We got a pop, and then napkins, and what is this here?
Grilled chicken pita.
Oh wow! Now Max, do you want something as well? You can't.
Can I have one of those?
Yeah.
A grilled chicken pita here
Thank
looks
you.
really good.
That looks amazing.
And Rick and the grill here, they do an outstanding job. Strike 3 called on McCauley. 1 gone, runner at first. We're in the bottom of the second, 1-0 Cats trail. So this is a grilled chicken pita here with some mayonnaise, some mustard, some lettuce, and some tomatoes. And the pita is warm. This looks outstanding, and it's going to be very well timed, too, because your play-by-play is in the third, and I'd take a break for 2 innings.
It's absolutely perfect. You can enjoy it, take it nice and easy. Don't got to rush yourself.
No, I could just let this sit for a minute.
Exactly. And then I'll sit and watch mine for 2 innings.
Here's Ryan Sargent, Ohio's right fielder. Takes one inside. It's 1-0. Runner at first is Giannini.
My mom replied, "No, we are not taking Nike to the ballpark. She would end up on the field and kiss every player."
Well, that's nice. Everybody needs kisses. Even if it's from a dog.
Even if it's from a dog, yes, of course. No, she's never met a stranger, Nike.
2-0 the count on Ryan Sargent.
But we also live in a place where we have neighbors who have chickens, and
Really?
she's eaten 2 chickens.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's a husky for sure, which means she is a predator and everything else.
Killer instinct.
Killer instinct. She has gotten free a couple of times. Luckily, our neighbors have been pretty nice about it. I think that, we gave them a gift card or something. As you should if, your dog eats a neighbor's chicken.
That's the proper, I'm sorry, here's a gift card, sorry about your chicken?
I don't know. I think that they don't want the chickens anymore, so the last time it happened, they weren't even that upset. It's a whole interesting thing.
3-1 the count here on Ryan Sargent. 1 gone, bottom of the second, 1-0 Ohio trails. Runner goes from first, pitch is high, it's ball 4 anyway, and runners on first and second here.
Here's a spot.
And here is Sebastian Fabic getting the start. He has been a defensive replacement in the first 2 games in this series. I mean, I obviously want the Bobcats to score a bunch of runs here in the bottom of the second, but I'd like it to happen fast with this grilled chicken pita. Just tantalizing me.
You're being teased.
I am, and not in a good way. Fabic's the 8-hole hitter and left fielder. Dove to make the catch to end the top of the first inning. Luke Devaney from the stretch. His ERA's at 3.13. The set and the pitch. Low and outside. What can the bottom of the Bobcat order do here? Hopefully good things. Also here, the side benefit is I have a new Bobcat Cup as well.
That is exciting.
I'm very excited. 1-0. Took something off a breaking ball. Misses inside. It's 2-0. Time called. A.J. Actor, the pitching coach for Eastern, on a brisk jog out to the mound. And something is changed for the Eagles starter, Luke Devaney. The arm slot and all that, I don't know. Ohio softball's on top now, 6-0 on Akron. 2 gone, and now the inning is over in the third. Wow. Best grill in the MAC.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, first I'm waiting for it. I can't eat and do play-by-play. That'd be a problem. But I'll give you the rave reviews a little bit later. Thank you so much. Wow, your pita looks really good there. It's got a lot of tomatoes on it.
Yes, I do love tomatoes.
Now, which one do you like better? Which?
Oh, I'm sticking with mine.
Are you really? Okay.
I'm not doing any trades.
Okay. 2-1 the count. Runner at second is Giannini. On at first is Sargent. Devaney in a little bit of a pickle here, and that's fouled back. 2-2 the count. Ohio trying to win the series. And this would be the second MAC Series win for the Cats. The first one was Northern a couple weekends ago. 2-2 the count. And the pitch. That missed low and outside. 3-2 the count. So Devaney is from Des Moines, and the only college baseball you can play in Iowa, on the Division I level anyway, is at the University of Iowa. They just have softball at Drake. They drop baseball at Northern Iowa and Iowa State. 3-2 pitch. That's fouled off. I'm told he is the best dresser on the team. Now, here's an idea, too. I guess I could taste test while the play-by-play is going to let folks know how it is. Maybe I could do that during your inning of play-by-play.
Your phone is just full of ideas today.
It's an amazing thing. They have the runner picked off at second. Giannini started, now trying to go back. He's in the hot box, and he makes a couple of Eagles have to touch the ball, which is always the goal, but then Sargent gets to second.
That was heads-up base running from behind, at least.
So, unfortunately, Giannini's out. The complexion of this bat changes now at bat. So 2 gone, runner at second, 3-2 the count on Sebastian Fabic. I mean, I wanted to get to the chicken pita, but not this quick, I guess. Fabic with the 3-2 count, trying to keep the inning going with Ohio down 1-0 here in the last of the second inning. And the pitch, that hit him on the back, just below the 3 and the 4 on the green uniform. So runners on first and second here for the 9-hole hitter, Funderburg. Trapin's from Beaver Creek. Freshman, 5'9", 158. Beautiful Beaver Creek in the Dayton area.
Yeah, I got family in Beaver Creek.
That's good.
They live over by, it's called, I think it's called Country Club of the North.
That sounds very high-end.
Yeah, it's a Jack Nicklaus golf course.
Oh, isn't that nice? I grew up with a city pond across the street from my house.
I grew up with this, well...
There was a shooting there that prompted my parents to move, but whatever. That's tapped foul.
Well, that was our first home. We lived in a spot where there were car accidents just happening all the time there. And there were, I think, 2 where the car accident came into the front yard. And then we also, unfortunately, got robbed there, and that was the last straw. So it's good to live in a nice neighborhood.
If you can afford it. 0-1, fly ball down the line and right towards Rufus. Watch out! Rufus was eyeballing it the whole way, showed no concern, then backed up 1 step, and there is a dog on the hill there that knows a ball was hit in his direction. Rufus has his paws on his hips as if he was going to charge Funderburg. He'll get over it. 0-2 the count now. 2 gone. Runners on first and second. Pitch misses outside. It's 1-2. Now Rufus has a good deal of padding, so he could have absorbed that blow. 1-2 the count. Ohio needs something here. A lot of base runners for no runs and 2 outs in the frame. Devaney comes set. And that hit him too.
Youch.
On the back, bases loaded. Here is Devin Garcia.
That looked painful.
Well, it wasn't a fastball, I don't think. I think he just lost the handle.
Just right there in the shoulder blades. Ugh, that's a bruise.
So this is the 3rd time that Ohio's had the bases loaded in this series. And the Bobcats have scored a grand total of 0 runs with the bases loaded?
Yes.
That's not a lot. In fact, that's none. Here's Garcia. Ohio trying to bust this thing open potentially with an extra base hit. Garcia popped out in the first, and he takes a strike here. It's 0-1. New average at 241. Sargent at third, Fabic at second, Funderburg at first. 1-0 Eagles. They scored a run on a double play in the top of this inning. The second inning has taken forever, and there's a bouncing ball to third near the bag. Backhanded stop by the third baseman, Owings, but they'll say that was a foul ball. The ball basically guided him to the bag. He was right on the sack where he made the play. But it is a foul ball. You're looking back in your scorebook here.
Yeah, not only this is the second time Garcia has been to the dish with the bases loaded today. Ended up being 5-2. He reached first base, but they recorded the out at home plate back in the 4th inning, stranding 3.
The 0-2 pitch coming. Swinging a bouncing ball, weakly hit toward short. Charging is Schumann. Gloves, throws, got him, and Ohio leaves 3. A lot of base runners in the frame, and they can't score. We're through with 2, 1-0 Eastern. Chicken pita time. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB.
6 foot, 172 pounds is what he checks in at. And the first man that he will face is the left-handed hitting Nate Jones.
Yeah, I was watching it. Their pitchers in the high 80s.
First pitch from the righty, Ogg, misses high and wide. Kenny Ogg this season has a 3.24 ERA. This is his 12th appearance. 16 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 21 hits. He has walked 10 and struck out 9, so he's a pitch to contact type of man. That one's fouled back to the screen for strike 1. 1-1. 1-0 Bobcats trail here in the third inning, even though the bases were loaded for the Cats. It came on no hits, and here's a pop-up left side out of play. Giannini was walked to start the inning in the bottom of the third. He ended up actually getting picked off, but Sargent walked, Babic hit by a pitch, Funderburg hit by a pitch, and then Garcia grounded to short. So a couple of bruises that turn out to be worth very little for the Cats. Kenny Ogg works here. The 1-2, curveball, swing and a foul tip off the mitt of the catcher Dan McCauley. On a side note, a little shout out to McCauley for catching so far both sides of this doubleheader. That's not necessarily an easy thing to do. I was a little surprised that Picnic's not behind the plate for game 2 here. That ball misses inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I enjoyed doubleheaders as a catcher, though, personally. I mean, I loved catching so much. It's just like you get as much baseball as you can, but it's certainly a workout behind the plate to be doing 2 games. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball right side. Going to be a tough play and a bad hop into the right field grass for a base hit. Moving to his left was Aaron Levy. It bounced a couple of times, and then it just gave him one extra bad hop that allowed it to go into the outfield. I'm interested to see how they will score this. Eastern Michigan today has 4 hits. We'll see if that is their 5th. But there's a runner aboard, and now here's Max Schumann. Righty-righty matchup here with nobody out and now a runner at first base. Pickoff move to first, close play, back in safely. Rudy did a great job of getting that tag down quickly. But back in on a head-first dive was Nate Jones. And they did end up deciding that was an error, so reaching on an E4. Ball in the dirt there. McCauley does a good job to keep that in front of him. Four hits today for Eastern Michigan. Well, 4 hits in game 2 here. Not just today. Little dribbler off the end of the bat. Going to be fielded by the pitcher. Look back to second base. Goes to first late. And Kenny Ogg took a moment to think about going to second base. And taking that extra moment prevented him from getting the runner at first. And so now a couple of runners have reached. And that one has scored a hit, but kind of 2 tough defensive plays have put the Bobcats in a tough spot with Eastern Michigan now with runners at first and second after an error. And maybe a little bit of a mental error there by Kenny Ogg. I don't know how he may have thought that he would have a play back to second. That ball had taken a moment to dribble. Should have been going to 1 all the way, but he looked to second and then went to first, and it was too late by the time he did that. So Eastern Michigan has 5 hits. It's only produced them 1 run. And a step off. There was kind of a deep breath by our umpire, as if to say, that was a little close to maybe being a balk, but he didn't score it as one. Bob Howard is at third base, Mike Martin at first. Brian Miller is behind the plate for this third game rubber match of this set in the second game of this doubleheader. There's a curveball checking his swing. Did he go? And he did not. Owens is the hitter. This is the part of the order that, honestly, the Bobcats have handled relatively well, but it's easily the most potent portion of the Eagle lineup. One ball, no strikes. Runners at first and second, nobody gone. Bouncing ball, left side, going to be another tough defensive play. Fernberg moves to his left, is able to field it, fires onto first base. It's an infield single. But the Bobcats are kind of having a tough luck inning right here. It's a bouncing ball to Levy at second. That was a tough play. Ends up getting past him, scored an error, but it was a tough one. Then a dribbler hit, then a bouncing ball hit. And so now the bases are loaded with nobody out, and no one's warming up in the bullpen. But Rob Smith will call time to have a conversation, I'm sure, with his infield just as much as his pitcher. But that's one of those back-to-back singles. They go in the book as line drives, but my goodness, they're not. Only one ball has left the infield in this inning, and that was on an error. It very easily could have been a 1-2-3 inning, arguably, with the way the balls were hit, if it would have bounced just a little bit more the Cats' way. And Traven Funderburg did a great job at short to get to that ball and have a chance to make a play, but just could not convert. So Bobcats have dug themselves in a hole. They stranded the bases loaded, and now with nobody out and Eastern Michigan having the bags juiced, they will try to do the same to Eastern. 6 hits for Eastern Michigan now today. It's produced 1 run, but they've got a chance to break it open right here.
And this is amazing that the bases are loaded for the Eagles right after Ohio left the sacks packed previously. Going to have to use a whole lot of work to get out of this one. Bobcat softball, by the way, is up 12-0 on Akron, and Alexa Howland a home run.
Wow. Bases juice. The righty looks in. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Timko is the hitter. He flew out to left on an amazing play by Fabic on a layout dive for the 3rd out in the 1st inning. Right here, Kenny Ogg is going to try and get him with less dramatics. A strikeout would be great here for the Cats as the bases are juiced and nobody's out. Line drive to second. There's one to Levy. He goes back to the bag for a double play. Great job, Levy to Fernberg. And just a fantastic job. It was lined directly to Levy. They caught the runner just a little bit off the bag. And also, Traben Funderburg did a great job to get to the bag quickly. He knew his responsibility. Levy found him, and that's a double play. And that's a huge play for the Bobcats to go from bases loaded and nobody out to now runners at 1st and 3rd with 2 outs on 1 play.
That was interesting because Schumann was off the bag at 2nd, and it was hit right on the button. I'd have to take a look at replay to see what his body mannerisms were. Was he heading back to the bag initially, or was he caught flat-footed there? That was right at Levy.
And so now there are 2 gone, and now the left-handed hitting Colton Schenker comes to the dish. Still a threat here, though, for Eastern Michigan. Ball in the dirt. Good job by McCauley to keep it in front of him. 1 ball and no strikes.
Second double play turn for the ball club here in the doubleheader. Eastern's first run scored on a double play. That's double play number 33 for Ohio this year. That's a lot.
It really is. It's a pitcher's best friend, and you see why right here. It's given Kenny Ogg a chance to go from a really tough spot to working out of a bases-loaded jam without even giving up a run. He will give up a run. It's a base hit on a line drive to center field. And so moving from 1st to 2nd and scoring from 3rd, and now Eastern Michigan has runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 run in. And arguably, I mean, if you get out of this inning only giving up 1 run, you can't complain too much after the bases being loaded with nobody out. But thought for a moment that Kenny Ogg might work out of that jam, but instead it's an RBI single for Colton Schenker.
Well, he didn't shank it. He definitely sizzled it right back through the box.
Yep.
Squared it up. And you're right, the run expectancy with bases loaded and nobody out is very high, obviously. Multiple runs, in fact. And so Giving up one is okay. It's not ideal, obviously, but that's better than the alternative. That double play was really important.
And now it just comes to being focused here on Nick Jones. You still got to get that third out. And runners at first and second obviously are still a threat. Eastern Michigan now has 7 hits, and we're in the top of the third inning. Ohio only has 1, as they've come to the plate twice today. 1 error in the field as well for the Bobcats.
That is 25 hits in the series now for Eastern. Ohio has 19.
2 gone. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side, foul. Past the third base bag.
I finished the pita, by the way.
Did you enjoy it?
It was very good. That chicken was very nice in there. It some very important protein, you know?
Yes.
The combination, I don't know if that's mayo and mustard together to whatever the blend was very good.
Yep.
Better than your standard Mac ballpark fare.
Yes.
And that would stand up on a lot of levels.
Kenny Ogg trying to work out of a jam here. Let's see if he can do it. The 0-1, that's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. As the wind is blowing the papers just a bit. Oh and 2 with 2 outs. Ogg trying to strand runners at first and second. Here's the pitch. Foul tip. Just barely getting a piece of it and staying alive there was Nick Jones. The pitch. Bouncing ball, left side, going to be fielded at short, and he was trying to go to the bag himself, wasn't able to do it. Throw to first base, thought they had him, but he's called safe there. It was a tough recovery there for Funderburg. He was trying to go to the bag on his own, didn't beat the runner there, and then threw to first late. I thought they had the runner there, but he's called safe. And so now the bases are loaded again.
Always preface this by saying it's easier for us to say because we have a little bit of an elevated view of things and we're not in the heat of the moment out there, but it certainly would have behooved the Bobcats if he just went to first on the play.
Yes.
Now, hindsight's always 20/20, and we're not in there doing it, but that, as it turns out, cost him a couple of steps and would have been out of the inning, but still can get out of it. 1 run, as we talked about, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but bases loaded again.
Yes. 2 gone. The righty Kenny Ogg looks to the lefty, John Rensel Jr. The pitch missing outside, 1 ball and no strikes. It's a beautiful day at the ballpark. There is no doubt about that. The green grass is nice, stripes in the outfield. You've got almost kind of like a sunray look going on the infield grass.
Nice, yeah.
1-0. That pitch misses outside as well, 2 balls and no strikes. Athens, Ohio is a pretty place to be right now. Kenny Ogg trying to make it a pretty place to be when he gets back to that dugout. Get some handshakes and high fives if he can work out of this bases loaded jam by only giving up 1 run. He's got 2 gone here, but it's a 2-0 count. He's fallen behind. The righty deals. Foul ball, right side, dribbles toward the on-deck circle.
It is amazing. You said this already, but it bears repeating. Eastern has 7 hits through not even 3 complete offensive trips. There's still a lot of ball game to be played.
Yes.
And Ohio's going to have to piecemeal their way through from a pitching standpoint.
2 balls and a strike. Kenny Ogg looks in for the sign. Comes set just above the belt. Kicks and deals. Misses high and wide. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now you want to give your defense a chance to make a play. Kenny Ogg looks in for the sign. Big pitch coming here. 3-1 with the bases loaded. That's a strike. Good pitch. Fastball catching the outside edge, and now the count is full. As Kenny Ogg has clawed back into it. And I am fairly certain that the runners will be going on this full count, 2-out pitch. Runners going. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle, fielded by the pitcher, Kenny Ogg. He goes to first. He gives a little sigh of relief before he throws it over, as if to say, I'm okay, and I got out of the inning. He gives up 1 run, but works out of a bases-loaded jam and strands 3. 2-0, Eastern Michigan leads it. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. This is Bobcat Baseball on 1340 WOUB. You cannot necessarily win or lose a game. Well, I mean, you can, but in the 3rd or 4th innings, but you can put yourself in a really bad spot. And the Bobcats have worked themselves into about as good of a spot as they could be by giving up 7 hits. And now we'll see if the Bobcats can get their bats going a little bit. That pitch misses outside as Aaron Levy leads things off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He doubled in the 1st, ended up being stranded at 2nd, and he rips the ball down the right field line foul and towards the Eastern Michigan bullpen.
What a play by Kenny Ogg.
Yes.
To end the top of the 3rd inning. That ball was shot right back to the top of the mound. It stuck into the mitt. He was able to make the play.
1-1 misses high, 2 balls and a strike.
Major League Baseball is underway already.
Reds losing yet?
They are.
Yep.
1-0 top of the 1st, but they only gave up a run.
That's good. This one's fouled left side. Going to be a tough play, and nobody's going to get there. Thought for a moment that maybe the 3rd baseman, Zachary Owings, was going to get to it, but it dropped in between the catcher and the pitcher, Luke Devaney, and the 3rd baseman, Owings, in front of the Bobcat dugout.
Were you familiar that Alex Cobb is now on the Orioles?
I did not know that.
Well, he is, and he already gave up a run in the bottom of the 1st inning at Boston. 1-0 Carmines. Rockies put up 2 on Max Scherzer. He's had an interesting start to his year.
Big swing and a miss, strikeout there. Levy was trying to hit that one hard and far, and he ends up going down on strikes.
Bottom of the 1st inning at Washington, 2-0 Rockies. They're trying to win 2 games in that series. Afternoon games to follow. Braves, Cubs, Newcomb v. Quintana on the north side of Chicago. It won't be warm there. No. Texas and Houston playing in your former town.
I think they call that the battle for the boot. Fouled out of play. The hitter now, Rudy Rott.
Oh, he's got a battle for something.
Yes.
Battle for airtime, battle for jobs, battle for your life, battle for a boot. Rangers are 4-11. They're throwing Minor. Charlie Morton, ground Chuck, pitching for the Astros.
Here's the 0-1. That misses inside. 1 ball and a strike.
Blue Jays and Indians coming up after 4 o'clock. Corey Kluber against Jaime Garcia. The Jays came back to win last night. They're 9-5. The Tribe is 8-6.
Here's a fly ball lifted into the left center field gap. Should be playable, and indeed it is. Timko underneath it, just to the right of the 380 sign in left field for out number 2. And Rudy, once again, I mean, even when he goes down, he doesn't really tend to go down quietly. He gave that ball a bit of a ride, but it was pretty easy for Timko to get to it.
2 games postponed already. No baseball on the D today, Yankees and Tigers. So the Yankees will enjoy all that is Birmingham later.
There's a strike. Checking his swing there was Picnic, but it's a called strike, 0-1.
It's a little bit of a hike from there where they stay in Detroit to the ballpark, but man, that's a good area.
Here's the 0-1, and he went around. No balls and 2 strikes. He's getting fooled right now as Picnic, as Luke Devaney is dealing, trying to put up 3 zeros to start this game. He's only given up 1 hit. Here comes the 0-2 from the right-handed hurler. That misses high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Here's a shocker for you. White Sox and Twins in Minneapolis, postponed.
Yeah.
Brewers will take on the Mets later.
Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. It's a drop third strike. They'll go to first base. Coming off the bag and then stepping back on it is the first baseman, Colton Schenker, for out number 3. We're through 3 innings. The Bobcats trail Eastern Michigan 2-0. This is Bobcat Baseball on 1340 WOUB.
Have some of this real quick.
There's 2 communities here. There's Athens,
Yes.
and there's Ohio University.
Yes.
And they're very different. I enjoy both very much.
Then there's the Plains.
And there's the Plains, exactly.
Right.
And that's a strike, 0-1. You know, and so I thoroughly enjoy Athens uptown community, the Plains community. You know, a lot of the people who listen to our radio show on 97 WATH, those are Plains people, big into high school sports. That one misses low and away 1-1. So, you know, kind of get a taste of it all. It's a great place.
You have come here and you have wrapped your muscular arms around this community.
I have
and
tried.
Said, you're mine.
I do. I really do love Athens. Southeast Ohio is a cool place. Here's the 1-1. Hard ground ball foul.
You should get a T-shirt. It says, I heart Athens.
Okay, I will do that then. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out in the top of the 4th. Here's the 1-2. Pop fly up on the infield. Levy will probably make the play again. Instead, Rudy Rott will call him off on the right side. Makes the play towards the second base position and on the infield grass along the right side. So there's 2 gone now on a couple of pop-ups to the right side. So Kaufman with a pop-up to the second baseman. Shane Easter with a pop-up to the first baseman. And now all we need, we've gone 4 and 3. If we get a pop-up to the catcher, you'd have a P4, a P3, and a P2. That's a pot of peas.
Tasty and nutritious.
2 gone. That one misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. My dad is not a big fan of peas.
I think peas are great. They really are.
I enjoy. I can't eat them plain, but if they're in something, I don't mind it. Like when peas are in rice and stuff like that.
That sounds good.
Ground ball, right side. Aaron Levy will make the play. Fires on to first base. And 1-2-3 inning there, spun by Kenny Ogg. Very good work from the bullpen. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bobcats trail by 2. This is Bobcat Baseball on 1340 WOUB. And 1.
Plus, the Eagles get to get home a little earlier
Yes.
than they expected. Maybe 9, 10 o'clock tonight.
And that pitch misses away. 1 ball and a strike. Tony Giannini, the hitter.
I do have a max score for you.
Yes.
Kent State's trying to sweep Northern Illinois. They played a doubleheader and won yesterday. Bottom of the 6th inning at Kent. Golden Flash is 10, Northern nothing.
Wow. 2
Kaboom.
balls and a strike. That one misses low and away.
Yikes. It is a avalanche of runs. That's 24 in the series for Kent State.
Hard ground ball left side. Going to be swallowed up by the shortstop Schumann. Throws on to first. A pick on the back end by the first baseman Colton Schenker will retire Tony Giannini. So 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th for Ohio.
Number 2, Dan McCauley.
Here's Dan McCauley. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning.
Ohio only has 1 hit.
Yep. Yeah, the right-handed hurler Luke Devaney is pitching a pretty good game right now. There's a foul tip. 0-1. Was trying to hold his swing up. touch the end of the bat. And straight into the mitt of the catcher, Nick Jones. 0-1. Curveball over for a strike. That's a pretty pitch. 0-2. The wind has picked up a little bit. Here comes the 0-2. That one misses high. It was over, but high. And so now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I got to check Central's website, but I can't imagine that Central Michigan and Toledo are going to be able to play today on the Mid-Michigan Mount.
1-2. Called strike 3. Inside corner there. It looked a little bit inside, but called strike 3. Not really protecting there with 2 strikes was McCauley. It was close enough, but it did look a little inside. But he's down looking now for the 2nd time today, in fact. And that is the 4th strikeout recorded so far today. That's a strike. 0-1. Dealing right now is Devaney. Came in with an ERA of 3.22 in 44 2/3 innings. That pitch misses low. It's 1 ball and a strike. You know, you talk about getting in the zone. Feels a lot like he's in the zone right now. And actually, that was the 5th strikeout of the day for Devaney. Ground ball left side. Slow roller going to be swallowed up by the shortstop. Schumann goes on to first base. And 1-2-3 rack spun here by Devaney. We head to the 5th inning. The Bobcats trail 2-0. This is Bobcat Baseball on 1340 WOUB.
The series that came in the 3rd inning. Schumann, Owings, and Timko scheduled. Here it is from Og. Eyes it on the way in, and that drops low. It is 2-0. Also saw that the spring game is occurring today at Kent State, so ain't no party like a Kent State football spring game party. Pitch misses outside. It's 3-0. The spring game for Ohio will be next Saturday. We'll be at Kent State. And it's not actually a game, it's a scrimmage of sorts. 3-0 pitch, high, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to start off the inning. That's never good. Eastern spring game was last weekend. It's that time of year, all kinds of sports collide.
Number 24, Zachary Owings.
Here's Zach Owings. Zachary, his full name. But I would imagine most call him Zach. or Zoe, if you will, Zach Owings. I don't know if that's true or not. Sounds like a thing.
Sounds like it could be a thing. Could be a thing.
He's 1 for 2 today. Singled back in the third, popped out in the first. Hits here now with a runner aboard. And Kent State always is a threat to run. As we look down here and see magnificent Dwayne Nellis. See what I did there? Dwayne Nellis. There's a fly ball, hit a ton to right, and that ball's way out of here. 2-run shot. Wow. That thing was blasted and might have ended up on the softball field. Zach Owings absolutely Zach Owing that ballpark, or rather that ball out of here. A 2-run shot over the wall and right. It's 4-0 Eastern Michigan. Oof. That ball was drilled.
You know, the Bobcats had been doing such a good job at the top of the order and the middle of the order, but again, baseball's a game of averages. You knew they would hit them at some point, and unfortunately hit for a tattoo there. Bobcats still trailing only 4-0, though. It's certainly not out of reach to this point. You just got to keep churning and keep getting through the innings.
So here is Jeff Timko, and he takes one low. It's 1-0. As Ohio's president, Dwayne Nellis, entered with his wife,
Yes.
Magnificent. I said magnificent? That's not even a word. Magnificent. He is behind home plate right now, sitting where a president probably should sit. And here is Timko, takes one inside. Magnificent is not a word.
Yes, he went and snagged some of the most prime seat, didn't he?
Yeah. And Eastern hit a home run.
Yes.
Bouncing ball to second. I'm sorry, short. There's Funderburg. Throws to first in time. And Timko actually went over to the bag after the fact and touched it. I don't know exactly why. And now he's being scolded in the Eastern dugout. I don't know what exactly happened there. There must be a form of fundamental.
Yeah, I'm sure that has to do with running it all the way out.
Yep. And then he went back and touched the base, and that must be what happened down there. On the bouncing ball to short, here is Colton Schenker. And there wasn't much activity in the ballpark at that time, so everyone heard that there was some yelling in the Eastern dugout.
Yes.
All right, 1-1 the count, 1 gone. Bouncing ball to first, rode off the bag. Underhand toss to the pitcher covering Og, and there's 2 away now.
Rudy plays first base so well. That bounce was off the cut of the grass and deflected off, kind of like when you do a bounce pass in basketball and put some spin on it, and it bounces off to the right or bounces off to the left. And it bounced off to his left, and he gloved it and just pitched it on over to first base, and Og was covering. That was really well done.
4-0 Eastern Michigan. That 2-run homer for Owings. That is one of the bigger blasts that we've seen in this ballpark to right. That was hit a ton and way gone. Big swing and a miss for Nick Jones. It is 0-1. 2 gone, bases clear, 4-0 EMU. Their 8th hit is their biggest and best. A 2-run shot. And that's Eastern's first home run of the series, if memory serves correctly. 1-1 the count. So for Owings, that is home run number 2. That's home run number 16 for their ball club. 1-1 the count, 2 gone. And the pitch from Og. Line drive, right field, base hit. Hit 9. Jones to right. The amazing thing here, Central had the second lowest in-league total of home runs. Second lowest in just league games. Miami had no home runs entering yesterday's game in league play. That's pretty amazing. That's the second home run by the Eagles in MAC play.
Wow.
Two gone, runner at first. Top of the fifth, 4-0 Ohio in a trouble spot here. Og from the stretch. Here it is to Rensel Jr., and that misses low and inside. He's 0 for 2 today, grounded into a double play and grounded out. We knew this would be a tough one for Ohio to get through from a pitching standpoint because you knew that Klein wouldn't go all that deep. And, in fact, he just went a couple innings, and now Og is working into his third inning. 1-0, smacked right back to him. Flagged it at the top of the hill in that black mitt. Throws to first in time. That's a heck of a play. The ball might have caught him, but on his follow-through, he stuck the glove up. Thank goodness it was that height. Inning's done. But a 2-run shot by Owings makes it a 4-0 Eagle lead. The Cats need some runs here as we go to the bottom of the fifth. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. Three walks, 6 strikeouts, and Ohio has not scored. Ohio's left 4, Eastern's left 6. Next one misses low and inside to Fabic, who walked back in the second inning. Some more hazy cloud cover overhead, just a slight breeze. That's about it. 1-1 pitch, low and outside, it's 2-1. Midweek game, Marshall, no radio for that. Then we will join you from Schoonover Stadium at Kent State next Friday. 2-1, low and outside, it's 3-1. Last time Ohio was there was back in 2015, and they won that series. Last year, Ohio knocked off Kent State 4 times in 5 tries. Fabic waits, Funderburg on deck, Garcia in the hole, and the pitch is a popping fastball for a strike. It's 3-2. Bobcat fans feel that was outside, but might have caught the corner of the plate. Ohio softball's won 7 in a row and 13 of their last 14. Bouncing ball to the right side, big hop for the first baseman. Off the bag is Schenker, underhand toss to Devaney covering, and there's out number 1. I wasn't sure if the second baseman was going to make the play on it, but once I saw that Schenker was off the bag, he had to make the play. So it wasn't the routine grounder towards first necessarily, but it was anyway. Here's Funderburg. Devaney delivers. There's a strike. It is 0-1. Warm day, temperatures in the upper 70s. Rain coming. Second game of a doubleheader. Ohio won game 1, 5-4. And the pitch to Funderburg is outside. 1-1. Ohio 5-6 in the league. 1-1 pitch, fouled back to the screen. You would think Ohio's going to have to find 8 more wins somehow throughout the 15 games that are left after this weekend. 1-2 the count. Devaney for Funderburg, swing and a miss. Climbed the ladder, and Funderburg with that red bat could not corral it. 2 gone, strikeout 6 on the day for Devaney, and here's Devin Garcia. Just not a lot of offense. And the pitch from Devaney. Fly ball foul. First base side, out of play. Next one's up and in. There's one bird that is flying at airplane height all the way up there. Wow, that is... Bird's really high. How high can birds fly? 2-1 the count. 2 gone, bases clear, bottom of the 5th. Not much doing for Ohio offensively. Down 4-0. Garcia 0 for 2 today. 2-1. Bent back into the zone for a strike. That was a good pitch. It's 2-2. Devaney trying to set Ohio down in order. Swinging a fly ball, shallow right. Long run, Easter still on the run. Dives, can't make the play. Hops in, Garcia rounds first, going to second. Ball thrown back to second, not in time. It is a bloop double for Devin Garcia. It'll look like a line drive of the box score tomorrow, for those that look at box scores in the paper anymore. 6th double for Garcia. He legged that out. He was thinking double right out of the box. Yep. Garcia with his 6th 2-bagger, and that is double number 58 for the ball club. Just the 2nd hit of the day. Well, the nightcap anyway. Here's Aaron Levy, who's 1 for 2. He doubled in the 1st. Struck out in the 3rd. 2 gone, runner at second. 4-0 Ohio trails. And the pitch, smack to second. Kaufman's there, sucks it up, takes 1 step, throws to first in time for the out. And Ohio does nothing with the 2-out bloop double to right. No runs a hit, no errors and a man left. We played 5, 4-0 Eastern Michigan. Thanks for enjoying it with us on AM 1340 WOUB. And 4-0. Jared Kaufman, Easter, and Jones, Nate, scheduled here against Kenny Ogg. Kaufman singled and was stranded in the 2nd, popped out in the 4th. Hits here now in the Eagles' 6th. Just 2 hits for the Cats, and the pitch from Ogg. Line drive to center. Garcia drifts back on a shuffle, now squares up and makes the catch as he backpedals. Maybe about 2 mowing slots over from straightaway center, and maybe about 10 feet in front of the track. One up, one down on one pitch.
Number 1, Shane.
Here's Shane Easter, who grounded out in the second and popped out in the fourth. Hits here now in the sixth with the Eagles on top by 4. Ohio with just one series win in the MAC. This is the 4th weekend. Let one slip at Bowling Green. And last weekend at Toledo, the one win over Northern Illinois. Squared to bunt, puts it down, had some flight to it, but hops foul up the third base chalk. As the wind is picking up a little bit, it's a warm day. This is summer-like in April. Owen won the count on Easter. The rest of the way for Ohio, we told you Kent State and Miami, but then there's Ball State at home, Western Michigan at home, and Ohio will close out the season in the MAC at Central Michigan. And hopefully there's something on the line then. 0-1. There's a strike. It's 0-2. You would love a MAC tournament spot to be secured before then, but this might go down to the final weekend. 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to second. Easy for Levy. Sucks it up. Throws a lob over to first in time. 2 up, 2 down here for Kenny Ogg, who has now been an innings eater. He is going into his 4th complete. 2 gone. Bases clear. 6th inning. Ohio down 4-0. There is activity in Ohio's bullpen, and Rob Smith's coming out. Ogg has walked 1, given up 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 hits for Eastern. And Ohio might be going to the pen here for the 3rd pitcher of the day. And Kenny's day is done. So, bases clear, 2 gone, top of 6, 4-0 Eastern Michigan. We'll pause for a pitching change. 60 seconds pause. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. The slogan for tourism in the state. Well, Maine is in there now, freshman, 5'11", 160, wears 11. In there to get the final out of the 6th inning, 4-0 Eastern Michigan. 4-9-0 for the Eagles, 0-2-1 for Ohio. Manus in there now for the Cats. We've seen him already in this series. 10th appearance, no record, no ERA. 5 1/3 innings of work, 2 hits, 1 run, 8 walks, 10 strikeouts. 0-1 the count. Nate Jones, the leadoff man and center fielder. Check swing on a breaking ball. He went around. It's 0-2. So the 3rd pitcher to be used today for Ohio's green and white. 0-2 the count. If you're thinking about the Bobcats' 6th, it is 3, 4, and 5 scheduled. Time to get it going. 0-2, swing and a foul tip. Just got a little piece of it. So Nate Jones just nicked it. He's 1 for 3. Singled in the first, aired and reached on an air and scored in the third. Grounded out in the fourth. 0-2 the count, 2 gone here in the 6th. Left on left in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Dropped by McCauley. Steps out in front of the plate. Throws to first in time. So Manus comes in and records his 11th K. And his dad claps. We're through with 5 1/2. 4-0 Eastern Michigan. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB.
No runs, no hits, no errors.
Rott 0 for 2.
Hit the ball pretty hard both times, though.
He did. Flew out. Both times to left. Back out there is Luke Devaney. How far will he go today? Into his 6th inning of work, and the first one's poked foul in the air down the line and left. 0-1 on Rudy Rott. To this point, Devaney's given up just 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. Pretty good for the native of Des Moines, home of the Drake Bulldogs. They have a new head men's basketball coach now, after Nico Medved just left to go to Colorado State. 0-1 pitch. That hopped in, and the mask of the umpire got knocked off a little. Brian Miller.
Yeah, just a little hello. I think it went off of his chest, and then that popped up the mask. He was pointing to his chest as he looked over to the Eastern Michigan dugout with a laugh.
Just kind of popped up on him there, huh? So Devaney works from the line to the 1-1 pitch. Hammered foul to the Eastern dugout. Ooh. So Devaney's effort here is one of the better athletic efforts of somebody from Des Moines since Drake's first round CIT win over, gosh, who did they even play? I can't recall. 1-2 pitch, bouncing ball to first. Easy for Schenker, underhand toss to Devaney covering. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Tanner Picnic, who's 0 for 2. This is how much of a nerd I am.
Yes.
It is bothering me that I can't recall who Drake played in the first round of the CIT.
Well, that's not something that should bother you.
I am bothered by it. I can't remember for the life of me who did Drake play in the CIT. Picnic has struck out twice today. That hops in. It's 1-1. 1 gone, bases clear. Bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Eastern Michigan.
If the NIT is the not in the tournament, what's the CIT?
The Tournament of Champions.
Ah.
Eastern Michigan played in the CIT. Bouncing ball, back of the bag at third, just off the line. Owings has it, strong throw to first in time. And there's 2 away. And Devaney is making quick work of the meat of the lineup.
Stepping up to the plate, number 14, Tony
Eastern made the CIT this year, men's basketball, 22 wins. They knocked off Niagara and lost to Sam Houston State. There were probably 20 people in Huntsville, Texas on that day. And the pitch, fouled back to the screen by Giannini. And yes, this typing here is me going to the Drake website. And Abilene Christian, that's right. And then they lost
ACU.
Then they lost to Northern Colorado.
I got accepted to Abilene Christian.
That's good.
I was that was like my, well, I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio.
Strike to Giannini,
and
1 and 2.
Technically, I had automatic acceptance to some Texas schools. But the only other application I actually filled out outside of Ohio was Abilene Christian because they sent it to me in the mail for free. So if I didn't get into Ohio, I would have been an ACU, whatever they are.
Wildcats.
A Wildcat. Which I would have been interesting. But
I hear the Aprils in Abilene are just lovely.
I'm sure that they are, yes.
2-2 low to Giannini. 2 gone, bases empty, bottom of the 6th. Northern Colorado, by the way, won the CIT.
Okay.
They beat UIC, Illinois Chicago. I've been to Greeley. Yeah. 3-2, called strike 3 on the outside edge. And Devaney has been awesome today.
Awesome.
From Des Moines. 4-0 Eastern leads. We go to the 7th as Ohio goes down in order in the 6th. Max McDulin's best inning of play-by-play ever is going to come to you next on AM 1340 WOUB.
Face one batter, but now we'll see what he does with the rest of this lineup here in the top of the 7th inning. Leading things off is going to be Max Schumann, and there's a ball inside. Maine has kind of slipped off the mound a little bit. 1 ball and no strikes. So Max bringing you the play-by-play and Max at the plate.
It's fun.
That pitch misses, so now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Schumann ahead right here. Hitter's count opportunity here. He wears the face guard that's becoming more popular now. John Carlos Stanton was one of the first to do that. Here's the 2-0. That's inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Jason Hayward does it now on the Chicago Cubs as well. Starting to see it more often as people try and protect themselves a little bit. 3 balls and a strike. That's a fastball that catches the outside edge. And there's the hat off sign from the bullpen to say that whoever is warming up is warm. Here's the 3-1, and that's ball 4. So that's a base on balls. We'll see if that will do it for Manus, or whether he'll have an opportunity to face Zachary Owings, who hit a home run in the 5th inning.
Doesn't matter how good your pitching is, if you can't get hits, it's not going to matter much, I guess.
You know, you're right.
And right now, Ohio has just 2.
Yeah. Runner at first base, nobody out. On a beautiful day for baseball in Athens, Ohio. Showing bunt, pulling back, and it's a ball low. It broke low, 1 ball and no strikes. So Owings showing bunt. He's singled and homered. But right now, maybe trying to move the runner over and add to the Eastern Michigan lead. We'll see if the bunt's still on. It is not. That's a fastball, pop of the mitt, misses outside in the right-handed batter's box. 2 balls and no strikes. Solid lead at first base. The kick, 2-0. That's a strike. Fastball inside corner, had some nice late movement on it. A little bit of a two-seamer with the tail. 2 balls and a strike. Rudy Rott is holding the runner on at first base. The third baseman, Tony Giannini, is even with the bag at third. They play tied up the middle in double play depth. Runner going, they've got him picked off. Can they execute this time? And indeed they do. The throw over to first base had him. The runner broke to second, and Rudy Rott, who in a similar play last night threw the ball to the left of the covering shortstop Funderburg, fired it in there nicely. He puts the tag down, and they get a pickoff for the first out, and so that leadoff runner is deleted quickly, and now it's 2 balls and a strike to Zachary Owens with nobody on. So a great job there by the Bobcats to execute the pickoff play. They've had a little bit of trouble with it. They fix it there, 3 balls and a strike. Right-hander is warming in the Bobcat bullpen. He is ready. Here's the 3-1 from the left-handed hurler. Fouled out of play for strike 2. The count is now full with 1 gone. Top of 7, Ohio has 2 hits today. 1 error, and they got no runs. Eastern 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The bulk of those hits coming in the first 3 innings for Eastern. Here's the full count delivery. And that's ball 4, misses outside. So a pair of walks to start off the 7th inning. 1 runner deleted courtesy of a pickoff move. But now there's a runner aboard with 1 out.
I mentioned this last weekend. There's a lot of obvious that's stated. It's just a matter of when you say it.
Yes.
But obviously 4 is a difficult mountain to climb over.
But it's much easier than a number higher than that.
Correct. And Manus and this bullpen have to keep it at 4-0.
Yep. And so far they've done a pretty solid job, honestly, pitching-wise today, as it's a strike. You're not normally going to complain about giving up just 4 runs.
Particularly when you have the offense that Ohio has.
Yes.
But the timely hitting just wasn't there for the bulk of the ball game yesterday.
No.
Was earlier today a little bit, but nothing here tonight or this afternoon.
A double play ball here would be nice with a runner at first base and 1 out to get you out of this inning. 1 ball and a strike. They do play to double play depth up the middle. Rudy Rott holding the runner on again at first base. Devin Garcia straightaway center field. In fact, all the outfielders playing pretty much straight away to their position. Left fielder Fabic shaded a little bit more to the left, so a little hole over there. Throw over to first base, and the runner is back in quickly. Didn't even really lean, just stepped back on the bag. So it's 1 ball and a strike. Manus is working in his 2nd inning of relief. He faced 1 batter. He's walked 2 so far here. Pop fly right side should be playable for the second baseman, Aaron Levy. He moves over to his left and makes the play just on the fringe of the outfield grass in right for the 2nd out. And so now Manus is 1 out away from pushing this into stretch time at the ballpark. I'll certainly be stretching it out a little bit. It's one of those days where every chance you get to
stand up, walk around, loosen up a little bit, you should take advantage of it. Doubleheader day. We had extra innings last night. We've got at least 18 innings of baseball today. Pickoff moved to first, and the runner is back easily.
Reds are down 4-0 now. Top of the fourth. Now bottom half of the fourth inning.
I will say, though, their minor league system, 38-15 and 5-0. So 38 runs, gave up 15 runs, and went 5-0 the other day. That's a good sign, isn't it? Swing and a miss, that's strike one.
Sure.
It's some. I mean, you know, you've got to focus on something when you have such a slow start. And then you got a team like the Pirates, which I'm excited about, you know, going to be in Pittsburgh this summer to see the way that they're playing so far at the start of the season. And they've still got some winnable games coming up in these next couple of weeks, playing the Detroit Tigers again. That ball in the dirt, 1 ball and a strike, and the Reds.
You kind of glossed over it, but what are you doing this summer?
I will be interning with the Pittsburgh Pirates, yeah. I'm very excited to be working with their radio and TV side.
And doubling as the Pirate Parrot every once in a while?
Hey, look, whatever they ask me to do, I will be happy to. I will partake in any way, shape, or form. I'm just excited to be able to be in the ballpark over the summer.
Joe Block's excited too, I'm sure.
Maybe. Pickoff move back to first, and immediately stepping back to the bag was Zachary Owings.
Tell him I said hello.
I certainly will.
And he'll be like, who is that again?
Hey, you don't know that for sure. Maybe he'll be like, oh, yes, Russ Eisenstein.
Oh, he's still in the business, huh?
1-1, showing bunt, pulling back, that's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I thought he'd be driving a cab or something by now.
That pulled Tony Giannini in on the grass over at third base. Is that what you would be, a cab driver, if you weren't in broadcasting?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I'd probably jump into the hocking.
That's good.
I've got no plan B, brother. This is it.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It's have a plan A so that you focus on plan A.
I have.
the dream and focus on the dream.
And here I am with
first
you.
Base. It's a good place to be. There are much worse places to be today.
Than sitting 2 feet away from you.
Than sitting 2 feet away from me in a beautiful ballpark on a beautiful day in southeast Ohio.
That's nice.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The runner was leaning, came back to the bag. High fly ball right side. Will stay towards the infield, and pop-up played by Aaron Levy. Back of the bag at first base on the cut of the outfield grass. And it's a quick inning there. We head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time at the ballpark. This is Bobcat Baseball on 1340 WOUB. Ohio did win game 1 of this doubleheader. They lost last night to open up this series. And now the energy picking up in the ballpark a little bit from the Bobcat dugout to the fans in the seats. And therefore picking up in Eastern Michigan's dugout as well. Here in the bottom of the 7th as the Bobcats try and get something going. There's a fastball that misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bobcats trying to pick up the atmosphere. And that pitch misses. 2 balls and no strikes. So far, this is the 25th batter that Luke Devaney has faced today. He's done some very good work. He's got 7 strikeouts as he begins to work here in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss on a 2-0 fastball right down the middle. And Dan McCauley was trying to hit his 2nd home run of the series. McCauley has gone down looking twice today.
They must be pretty confident because there's no activity in their pen.
2-1.
That pitch misses, low and away, 3 balls and a strike. Yeah, they have faith in Devaney. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what his pitch count is at right now, but if he keeps going the way he is, he might have a chance to go the distance. 3 balls and a strike. But a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the 7th won't keep Devaney in the game. But it is a way maybe for the Bobcats to get back in the game, as they've got a base runner here to start the bottom of the 7th inning. And here is Ryan Sargent, a man who's had a pretty good series so far. He walked and was stranded at third base in the 2nd inning. Had a couple hits earlier today and yesterday. Conversation out on the mound between Nick Jones and his pitcher, Luke Devaney, the right-hander, and now a little bit of activity has started in the Eastern Michigan bullpen. As the runner is aboard, it's McCauley, curveball over for a strike. And some sincere frustration with that call from the Ohio Bobcat fans' dugout and from the hitter, Ryan Sargent, who immediately backed out of the box as if to say, "You got to be kidding me, Blue." This one misses low and away, 1 ball and a strike. It was a very good pitch, but Sargent felt that it was inside, as did the Bobcats. Pitch misses outside, back pick to first base, and back in safely with a head-first dive as McCauley, as the catcher Nick Jones was trying to catch him leaning, as he was getting a pretty solid secondary lead there at first base.
Better throw would have gotten him.
Better throw would have. It was a high throw. McCauley has shortened his lead a little bit. Ground ball, left side, it's through the hole. Playing in at third was the third baseman. That allowed the ball to get by him, and it's a base hit, and runners now at first and second base for the Bobcats. It was a dive and a good effort by Zachary Owings over at third base, but a base hit through the hole on the left side gives the Bobcats a little bit of activity on the base paths here to start the bottom of the 7th.
I was interested to see how Eastern would handle this. I thought there would be some activity in their bullpen before the start of this inning, because there wasn't.
You would think this would probably be the moment to be making that change almost. And time has been called, so we're going to have a conversation on the mound. I'm not sure if it's going to be a pitching change or not. We will see what happens here. I don't think it will be a change, as whoever is throwing, I doubt, is ready down there, because they just got up and started throwing only a moment ago. So this might be, if a change is coming, might be a little bit of a stall to give the reliever a little bit of extra time. And if it's not a change, then it may be a stall to still help things out down there and to try and calm his pitcher down a little bit. And indeed, it was just a conversation, so no change here. So with nobody out and runners at first and second, the Bobcats trailing 4-0. They've got an opportunity here in the bottom of the 7th to get back in this ball game and to get back in this series. Lost game 1, won game 2. This is indeed the rubber match.
Number 9, Evan Bourne.
Going to get a pinch hitter here?
Yes, this is Evan Bourne. Bats from the left side for the Bobcats.
For Sebastian Fabic.
And so now this allows the matchup to be lefty-righty, as they go ahead and play his walk-up song. Evan Bourne is batting .220 this season. He is 9 for 41. Here's the pitch, low and away. That's a ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
Devaney's been awesome to this point, but he's running into that jam here in the 7th.
He's given up 3 hits. 2 runners are on right now, and nobody's out, and the pinch hitter, Evan Bourne, is at the plate. Traben Funderburg is who waits on deck. It's a pitch. That's just really a get-me-over fastball. He was just trying to throw a strike, and he did there. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's evened up the count. So at 1-1, looking in for the sign is Devaney. Holds the glove to the front of his left hip. Now he comes set just below his chin. Fouled out of play. And so the break-even pitch goes the way of the pitcher as he gets to strike 2. And Devaney is ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Playing pretty tight to the line. To the lines are the first and third baseman.
not hugging it necessarily, not playing completely no doubles, but edging much closer, and they're pretty tight up the middle. The shortstop, Schumann, is holding the runner on at second. Here's a hard hit ball, going to be a double play. It was a line drive snagged by the shortstop, Schumann. He steps on the bag at second base for a double play on a line. The second time today we've seen a double play like that. Ohio turned one, and this time Eastern Michigan returns the favor. And so caught leaning there off of second base was Dan McCauley. He was hung out to dry. He had no chance to get back to the bag. And the shortstop, Schumann, just went to the bag himself, put his toe on it, one swing, a line drive, caught, and 2 outs. And so now here is Traven Funderburg. It was a hard hit ball by Evan Bourne. Given another couple feet, and the Bobcats probably score their first run of the game and have runners on the corners. But instead, there's 2 outs and a runner at first base. This ball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball bouncing. Left side, going to get through the hole. It took a tough hop. It got high up in the air, past the diving third baseman, Zachary Owings, into left field. And an errant throw with the ball coming back in, doing a good job of just being able to get the ball was Zachary Owings, as the home plate umpire, who had gone up to third base in case there was going to be a play there. He kind of had to bump him out of his way in order to get that ball and not let it roll into the Bobcat dugout and allow runners to advance. The lineup turns over here. Here's Devin Garcia. He bats with runners at first and second. So even though there are 2 outs and the Bobcats lined into a double play, they still have a chance to do something here in the bottom of the 7th. You would think they would need to. The pitch. That's a curveball over for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Curveball slapped left side, snagged by the third baseman on a bounce. He'll step on the third base bag, does Zachary Owings for the 3rd out. And the Bobcats had a bit of a threat there in the bottom of the 7th, but Eastern Michigan works out of it. We head to the 8th. Bobcats trail 4-0. This is Bobcat Baseball on 1340 WOUB. Seventh. So Maine is back out. He'll face off against 6, 7, and 8 Jones. This is Nick. Singled twice and rounded into a fielder's choice. 2 for 3 today. Rensel Jr. and Kaufman scheduled against the Michigan native, Brett Manus. Time called.
It's got to be a frustrating weekend for Ohio because they know what's ahead of them and they know where they need to get to. And this was the day that they hoped to sweep the doubleheader. You could still come back. It's a 4-0 deficit, but you've got 6 outs to play with now. After losing yesterday in extras, winning late in the opener, 1-1, hammered to center. Garcia to his right, dives, clanks off his mitt, rolls to Bourne and left, rounding first and going to second with the tag applied late. From Levy is Nick Jones. So that was a good effort. Garcia dove in and to his right, so towards left field. It clanked off the mitt. Bourne was there. The throw was close, but it is a double. And here is Rensel Jr. And we're going to get a pinch hitter here. Yes. Or a pinch runner, one of the two. Pinch hitter. And this will be Eli Gora. Gora, the catcher from Cincinnati, not playing here in Game 3 and Game 2 of the doubleheader. But he's in there now. Gora, now used in every game of the series. Time called. Rob Smith with a slow saunter out to the mound with a leadoff double, and Ohio down 4-0. We'll probably get a pitching change here. Out hit 10-4. 1 air for the Cats. Outscored 4-0 here. Manus departs. Ohio goes to the pen. We'll tell you about the next Bobcat arm after this 60-second pause. From Athens, this is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. Two and three, does have a save. He worked last night. 4.05 ERA. Ohio down 4-0 here as we're in the top of the 8th. Runner at second on the double. And Gora is the batter. Ohio will take on Marshall midweek twice. At Marshall on Tuesday. At home against Marshall on Wednesday, no radio. Then up to Kent State for a 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 1 o'clock next weekend. So this completes the 8th game in 9 days for Ohio. Wrapped around to last weekend. 4-0 Eastern. Gora trying to gore the Cats for one more. Bluff back to second. There's not a lot of juice in this ballpark right now, as you can imagine. Everybody was up early today. It's time for a nap or a comeback, one of the two. The nap can wait. Four nothing Eastern. Blessing from the stretch. Still nobody out in the frame, and the pitch. This is low.
And that delivery is just so exaggerated. It's quick, but there's a lot that happens in one moment.
Lean back and away over the top, and a shot put to the plate.
Yep.
He has repeated it quite often. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Eastern scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fifth, and that was the big home run. 1-1's high. It's 2-1. No Butch Baird this weekend because of injury that he sustained last weekend at Toledo, and so that's why Ohio's had to rework the starting rotation. And heck, you only have 3 really, so when you lose 2, that's really tough. That's 67% of your starting rotation. Fisted fly ball back of first, rode on the back of the infield. Dirt makes the catch. First down of the inning. Runner stays at second. Here's Jared Kaufman, who singled in the second, popped out in the fourth, and flew out in the sixth. 4-0 Eastern. We're in the top of the eighth. Ohio has 6 outs to try to score at least 4 runs. Right on right here. And the pitch. Popped him up. Shallow right. Coming in and over to his right is Sargent. Camps under it, makes a 2-handed catch to secure out number 2 in the 8th inning. Major League scores: Red Sox 7, Orioles nothing. That's in the bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox already have 10 hits. Rockies holding on to a 2-1 lead on Max Scherzer and the Nationals. That's in the bottom of the 6th. Cardinals 5, Reds nothing. Middle of the 5th.
The Reds did get a hit, though.
You can't get to 2 hits until you get 1.
Yep.
Shane Easter, the batter, takes 1 high and wide. Ozzie Albies, a very slick fielding second baseman for the Braves, went deep on a frigid day on the north side of Chicago to lead off the game. 1-0 Atlanta. And you're up to date. 1-0. Strike called. It's 1-1. If you're thinking about the Bobcat 8th, which you're listening to this, so you must be, Levy wrote Picnic 2, 3, and 4. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen starting there. Or at least you got to start shoveling some coal in the Bobcat rally train, huh? Southeast Ohio and West Virginia powered coal.
That's good. Very good.
1-1 the count with 2 gone. There's a strike. 1-2 now. Corey Blessing trying to end the Eagle 8th. Blessing back of Ogg and Manus and Klein today. Next one is fouled off to the screen behind home plate. 1-2. There is an acre to hit into in left center field. As Garcia swung over towards right. Bourne in left. Blessing delivers. Foul tip held on to. For strike 3, McCauley secures the catch for the out. That's strikeout number 21 for Corey Blessing on the year. That's the end of this top of the 8th. 4-0 Eastern Michigan. We go to the bottom half. Time to rally for the Cats. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. It's pretty impressive. He's given up just 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He has been very, very good for Eastern Michigan today. 4-0 Cats trail. Welcome back to the Wren. And feels like everybody needs a jolt of energy. We just need shots of 5-hour energy right now. Saturday shots of 5-hour energy. Because this has been a very rough offensive outing for the Green and White. And actually, I lied to you. They didn't make the signal. There is a new pitcher for Eastern Michigan. I thought he was done after 7, and I was right. Scott Granzato into the ball game for EMU. He's from Northville, Michigan, 6 foot 160 and a freshman. Scott Granzato, Granzotto, in there for the Eagles. And in MAC play, this is his 4th effort, 2 2/3, a hit, a run, a walk, a strikeout. Overall this year, Granzato, this is his 12th appearance. He's 0-2 with a 4.40 ERA. 14 1/3 innings of work, and he throws a strike to start it to Aaron Levy. Doubled in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th. Takes a ball inside, it's 1-1. Over the sound system here between innings, they played the Walmart Yodeler. The Walmart Yodeler has made a Wren appearance.
I thought it was pretty impressive. Got a little remix to it. It was great.
2-1 the count. Here it is. Strike called. There was a long pause there. Now, here's the thing. There's a good amount of frustration, obviously, that's being outletted towards yelling about balls and strikes. 2-2, hit on the ground to second. To his left is Kaufman, sucks it up, throws to first in time for the out. So, yes, is the zone maybe questionable today? Sure. But Ohio only has 4 hits, so you could parcel out your anger in a variety of ways.
Yeah. Sometimes when you argue things, it's not necessarily because you're that upset about the call. It's that you're frustrated about what's happening, and then that irritates you even more, which then leads to you taking out that anger.
Correct. Here's Rudy Rott. There's a strike. It's 0-1. So if you're a fan of the Colts, you're not just screaming at, I don't know, the Bengals for doing something positive just because. Bouncing ball, weakly hit, back of the mound, sucked up by the shortstop. Schumann throws to first, and that clanks off of Schenker's mitt at first. So Schumann made a really nice play and threw on the run. So Ohio gets a base runner here. That is an E3. If he caught the ball, the first baseman Schenker, that would have been an out. Instead, a shank on the catch. 1 gone, bottom of the 8th. It's got to start somewhere, so Rudy's on base. Here's Tanner Picnic, and he rolls 1 foul up the chalk at 3rd. It is 0-1. Now, I just threw out those teams as an example for no real reason, but sports is an outlet for all the emotions to come out.
Yes, it is. Good and bad.
Correct.
And one of the great things about sports, too, is that it can be a distraction. Love that part of it.
That it can be. It is an escape from your normal life unless your life is doing this, whereas that is life.
Yes.
That's life. That's what people say. Bottom of the 8th continues. Here's Picnic. 1-1 the count with 1 gone. Runner at first and the pitch. That hopped in. Ohio would like its life to go the way of tying this game or taking the lead. 2-1 the count. Picnic has home run power. He has sent one deep 5 times this year. Next one's low. It's 3-1. The catcher had some trouble finding it. Does. 3-1 the count. Ohio did line into a tough luck double play to thwart a rally a couple of innings ago. That was in the 7th, so just 1 inning ago.
Yep.
And that ball was just scalded. 3-1 to count. And the pitch. Low, ball 4. All right, tying runner comes in the on-deck circle now.
I went and looked behind us a little bit earlier. It looks like the rain is slowly creeping towards us.
What does the radar say?
I will look at that right
So
now.
literally what you did was, time called pitching coach out of the dugout.
I went over there and went and looked at the clouds.
And you looked.
Yes. I used my eyes.
Did you look at the Farmer's Almanac today too?
No, I did not.
Runners on first and second, 1 gone. What's the weather going to do? I don't know. Just look outside. We have all these fancy gauges now to take a look at things, but you just took a look, evaluated, wet your finger to find out which way the wind was blowing.
In my face.
Well, you might be right.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about this Bobcat rally here?
I think it's an opportunity here, and they got to take advantage of it. I mean, you can't go into the 9th down by 4. If you can even just get a couple runs back here to give yourself a little bit more of a chance in the 9th, then you're really dealing with something there.
Rufus needs to put on his engineer's cap
Yes.
for that rally train.
There's the radar.
Where is the rain?
It is currently in Columbus down to Cincinnati.
Oh, boy. Tony Giannini rips one through the left side hole. Base hit. Hitting third is Rhodes. Stop sign on from Craig Moore. Bases loaded, 1 gone here in the Bobcat 8th. And Ohio's got a shot to try to come back here. Hit number 5 of the day, and Giannini on base for the 2nd time. And that will be it for Scott Granzato. They're going to go to the bullpen, and Dan McCauley is going to hit with the bases loaded. We'll pause for the pitching change. We're in the 8th, 4-0 Eastern Michigan. Bases, sacks packed with Cats. 60-second pause. Ohio down 4-0. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. Fourth. I should have asked you during the break.
It is 4 times.
Let's re-rack that. This will be the 4th time that Ohio's had the bases loaded in this series. Ohio has scored a grand total of how many runs in that time?
0. But will that change here? This is the moment. Good thoughts, okay? This is the moment where the Bobcats can break through, come through, change the pace of this game, which right now the momentum is swinging in their direction, but they have to execute here. They've got the bases loaded. They've got 1 out. They've got at least 2 chances, if not more, to do something with it. Let's see what they can do with a guy like Dan McCauley at the dish to get things started here. It's not a bad guy to have at the plate who's already gone deep this series.
New pitcher for Eastern Michigan is Thomas House. House, 6'2", 165, an Ohio native. Freshman, right-handed arm. On at third is Rote. Picnic at second. Giannini at first. Dan McCauley, the batter. 2 strikeouts and a walk, and the pitch is in the dirt. Gets away. Ohio gets a run. On a wild pitch, that went through the wickets of the catcher Jones. It's 4-1 now. Up to third goes Picnic. Giannini to second. Rott scored easily from third. And now a long one will tie the game. It certainly could have before, but now an extra base hit makes it 4-3. So a house call. He's from suburban Cincinnati. House making his 13th appearance. He's 0-2 with the 6.64, and he nearly airmailed that one. Might have been a cross-up. Out to the mound goes Nick Jones.
Rufus, get your rally cap on. This is the spot.
That coal-powered train is ready to chug down the tracks. Second and third, the runners, one gone. 2-0 the count on Dan McCauley. In the bottom of the eighth with Ohio down 3, 4-1. Here it is. Fastball strike. It's 2-1.
Ooh, that's the pitch to hit right there for McCauley. I get taking a pitch, though, there. You got a new pitcher in the game. He's been a little wild. 2-0 hitters count. You want to see what he's going to give you. That's the fastball. And now McCauley's seen it. If he comes back with it, he's going to put his bat on it.
2-1 the count. And the pitch. Fouled back to the screen.
Just missed. Just missed. He was on it. He was trying to put it the other way to right. Was a little bit late on it. And now at 2-2, we'll see what he comes back with here.
House from 175 miles away from Athens. On the mound now, back in his home state in a big moment. 2-2 the count on McCauley. And the pitch. Outside. Ball 3. Counts run full now.
Just one heck of a job by Nick Jones to not let that ball go all the way to the backstop. He had to reach pretty much outside of the left-handed batter's box to keep that from going back to the screen.
Can Ohio come back to win this series? Payoff pitch with 2 in scoring position and 1 gone to the 8th. McCauley swings and rockets 1 to center. This ball's deep. Jones goes back to the warning track of the wall. Caught it against the wall. His back against the wall. Tagging from third and scoring is Picnic. Giannini to third. It's 4-2 now. And man, McCauley nearly mashed one out of here to straightaway center. It is a deep ballpark. That's 405 out there. Just to the right of straightaway center. It was tracked very well by Nate Jones. His back against the wall, figuratively and literally. And so a 4-2 game has 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Ryan Sargent. Man, he nearly hit one out of here. Here it is from House. Fastball low. It's 1-0.
That would have been one heck of a game to break this thing open.
Sure would have.
He hit that 403 feet.
Pitch low and outside. 2-0. Today, Sargent walked, grounded out, singled, and was stranded. 2-0 the count with 2 gone. And the pitch from House. Outside, ball 3. Well, pretty interesting that the pitching struggles happening here for Eastern after their starter was so good, Luke Devaney. The 3-0, ball 4 hopped in and kind of skitters to the left of home plate, but no advancement of the runner as Jones over there to pick it up. That is ball 4. Runners on the corners here with 2 gone. Here is Evan Bourne. He was a pinch hitter earlier. He's hitting out of the 8-hole. There is activity in Eastern's bullpen. They have a side armor down there who is ready to go. The cap off, the universal sign to the Eastern dugout. So Bourne hitting .214. 2 gone, bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Ohio down to Eastern Michigan. Just based on the momentum, based on where we're at in this contest, you figure it's got to happen here. It can happen in the 9th because the lineup card will be turned over and we've got some pretty good sticks to come up to the dish, but just based on where everything is right now, a 2-out rally might need to happen. But Ohio's put itself in position here late. Bourne takes a strike in the outside edge. He's a left-handed batter. So a wild pitch brought home a run, and a sac fly brought in the other. The first 2 runs for the Bobcats in this game coming in the bottom of the 8th. The The pitch from House, lined into center field, base hit. It's a 4-3 game. RBI single for Bourne. And the Bobcats are reborn here in the bottom of the 8th. A 3 spot on that board. It is 4-3. And now the tying runner is 180 feet away as Giannini scored on Evan Bourne's RBI single to center. His 7th RBI of the season. Time called, Eric Roof out. The head coach for the Eagles will make a pitching change. They just can't get out of the 8th. And Ohio has been able to smash and gash. And the bullpen door opens up in the right field corner. And before Traben Thunderberg bats for Ohio, there'll be a pitching change. 3 in, 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Eastern Michigan. We'll pause for a break. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB.
That's my mom.
Valley Cap.
Yep.
With a 1.93 ERA. Just 4 2/3 innings of work. 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 strikeout. So limited outings, but a pressure-packed moment here for the right-hander. Ohio scored 3 in the inning. Thunderberg backs. Traben Thunderberg.
He's been having a good series, too. He's got a single earlier today. He reached base on a hit by pitch and had a good game 1.
On at second is Sargent. On at first is Bourne. Schroeder from the side. Ooh, that's a tough pitch to see now. It's 0-1. Slings it from the side. And that's why relievers that throw from that arm slot are so effective, particularly because you don't see them all that much and you don't have a whole lot of time to get ready. Hunches over. The righty slide step, and it slides it just high. It's 1-1.
That was a good take there because that was a similar pitch, but it was much higher. Kind of tough to lay off with the whole plate umpire having called the last one a strike, but he trusted his discipline there, and he evens this count at 1-1.
There's room down the line and left. They're swung over towards right. Thunderberg, the shortstop, tried to hammer one, missed high. It's 1-2. 2 gone here in the 8th, 3 already in. Bobcats showing some fight as they scratch back and claw in this one. Trying to take the series somehow. Trying to level their league mark at 6 up and 6 down. Thunderberg, Ohio's shortstop. Here it is. That's fisted foul over the screen and out of play. The Eagles have 1, 2, and 3 scheduled in the top of the 9th. This escalated quickly. Really jumped up a notch. 1-2 the count. Schroeder from the side. That's a foul tip. Just in front of Ohio President Dwayne Nellis.
Did he flinch?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm a short guy, so I'm sitting down, so I couldn't see over the top of where we are.
The net did its job. 1-2 the count. 2 gone here in the 8th. Can Ohio tie the game? In the dirt, backhand pickup by Nick Jones, back of the left-handed batter's box. That was a good save because if he didn't do that, or if that hopped over the glove, it would have been runners on second and third.
Yeah, Nick Jones has done a pretty good job this inning. He's been busy. One ball got by him that allowed a run, but he's done pretty good other than that. He's been busy in the left-handed batter's box.
2-2, hit on the ground, just wide of third, foul. Two and two the count with 2 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. Funderburg is hanging in that box, staying in the count. Sargent at second, Bourne at first. The 2-2 pitch coming from Dylan Schroeder. Misses high and tight. 3-2. On deck is Devin Garcia. Can Ohio load the bases again? It would be the 5th chance, trying to get more than just 1 run.
And it would be the 3rd opportunity for Devin Garcia with the bases loaded.
Wow. 3-2 the count. Traveling time for the runners. Sargent at second and Bourne at first. There they go. There's a fly ball to center. This is shallow. Long run coming in is Jones, and he's there, and he makes the catch. Just hung up there enough for Jones to get there and make the catch, and the inning is over. But Ohio scores 3 on 2 hits. There was an error and 2 left. We play on to the 9th, 4-3 Eastern Michigan. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. For Eastern Michigan, the Eagles have stranded 8. Ohio 3, 6, and 1, and the Bobcats have left 9. Rain is coming, but can Ohio rally before it starts to rain? First pitch today occurred at 9 o'clock in the morning. Most folks were at the ballpark around 8. Nate Jones is Eastern center fielder who made the catch on the final out at the bottom of the 8th, and Corey Blessing fires a strike in there. It's 0-1. The next one, overhand breaker, misses high. 1-1.
Just a touch high.
1-1 pitch coming from Corey Blessing. Fly ball to right and deep, but it will stay in the park. Sargent started back, now comes forward, leans in and makes the catch.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need right there. You made up ground in the bottom of the 8th. You got 3 runs back. Now you trail by 1. You just need to trust your defense behind you if you're Blessing. Let them make a couple of plays. Don't try and overdo it. Don't put people on the base paths by losing control. But trust your stuff and trust the 8 guys behind you on the field.
Here's Max Schumann, who is 1 for 2 today. New average at 351. Singled and 2 walks. Fly ball foul. Flared to the right side. It's 0-1. Garcia, Levy, and Rode, the guys to do it in the bottom of the 9th, scheduled for Ohio. They most certainly can walk it off. A 3 spot in the 8th. Here it is from Blessing, high and tight. So Ohio lost game 1 of the series, 6-4. Won the opener of this doubleheader, 5-4. And we're in the 9th now. Schumann, their shortstop. Fly ball to right field, sinking fast, but hangs up for Sargent. Makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. And here is Zach Owings. His home run to right was a blast. And it might have gone to the softball field. Just clubbed it out of here back in the 5th. Hits here now in the 9th. 2 for 3, new average at 367. Doesn't wear batting gloves and takes one outside. It's 1-0. Blessing from the wine. Turns, shot puts it to the plate. Swing and a miss, swung through it. That was up and in. 1-1 the count. Both teams wearing green. 1-1 pitch. Low and outside, it skipped in. 2-1. 2 gone, bases clear. Ohio trying to come back and win the series. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball, center field. Moving to his left is Garcia. Under it, makes the catch as he drifted back towards that Bobcat logo in right center field. All right, 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the 9th coming up. 1, 2, and 3 scheduled against the Eastern bullpen. 4-3 Eagles. This is Bobcat Baseball on AM 1340 WOUB. Cloudy skies after sunshine. And Ohio's battled back into this one. Bottom of the 9th inning, 4-3 Eastern Michigan with Max McDulin. I'm Russ Eisenstein. Daniel's back in our WOUB studios. Dylan Schroeder in there, and the first pitch for Devin Garcia is popped up foul over the Eastern dugout, now to play. It's 0-1. So the defensive alignment here for the Eagles is Timko in left, Nate Jones in center, Easter in right, Hager at third, Schumann at short, Kaufman at second, Owings at first, Schroeder and Jones the battery. 1-1 the count. Dylan Schroeder. The 1-1 pitch. Missed inside, nearly hit him. It's 2-1. From the side, the pitch. Golf to left, base hit. Tying runner on. Timko picks it up, fires it back in. Big turn at first, Garcia. Tying runner aboard. Here is Aaron Levy. Doubled in the first, struck out in the third, grounded out in the fifth, grounded out in the 8th. Schrader doesn't have a save. He's 0-1. So what do you do here? Well, you most logically would bunt to move the runner up. You can't take the lead unless you tie it. Unless you hit a home run, you can win it. Levy squares to bunt, throw to first instead. Garcia back in time. So the bunt situation is on for Levy. Outfield is very deep. In at third is Hager. Square to bunt, pulled it back, took one outside. It's 1-0. Dark skies now to our west, moving in. Could be a celebration shower. Levy squares to bunt. Popped it up foul towards the Eagle dugout.
Ooh.
1-1. The 3 runs for Ohio coming in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Eagles scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the 5th. And now the Bobcats bat in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-1 swung through. It's 1-2.
Well, now what are you going to do with 1 ball and 2 strikes?
Road is on deck. So you got to be a little cautious here with 2 strikes.
Yep.
The pitch is well outside. It's 2-2.
You don't want Garcia to get thrown out at second, but I wonder if maybe you think about a hit and run possibility here to try and delete the prospect of a double play.
The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Went upstairs. Schrader side-armed his way to a strikeout. Just his second of his season. Here is Rudy Rott. And here you go.
Which, honestly, if you're Ohio and you're not going to move the runner over, then that's the best result there. Because
nothing else happened.
Nothing else happened. You didn't have a concern about possibly a double play or a runner getting caught in a rundown and just something crazy happening and, you know, you losing Garcia. And also, you want, even though Levy has some speed too, Garcia is one of the quickest guys on this team. So to have him on the field right now is nice as well. You don't want him to lead it at second base as the lead runner either. So 1 gone and Rudy at the dish with a runner on. Not a bad spot to be.
Runner goes, hit and run on, line drive, right field, base hit. Garcia flies around second. He's getting to third. Easter up with it and right, fires it back in. Runners on the corners now.
That was just really, really well executed. Garcia was going on first movement, completely forgetting about him on the base paths, it seemed like, with Schroeder. And Rudy did exactly what he had to do. He slapped it to the right side, put it right through the hole over the top of the second baseman's head. And now the Bobcats are seriously in business with runners at 1 and 3 with only 1 out, down by 1.
4-3 Eastern Michigan. Rudy Rott ripped it to right. Here's Tanner Picnic, 0 for 3 today. He has 5 home runs. Will he walk it off? The pitch is a little bit outside. Backhand pickup by Jones. 1-0. Struck out twice, grounded out, and walked. Came around and scored in the 8th. 3 runs for Ohio in the bottom of the 8th. And now runners on the corners and 1 gone at the bottom of the 9th.
As badly as you want to tie it, you also want to win it. And this guy very easily could do that with 1 swing.
And the pitch, low, 2-0. Ohio trying to win for the 17th time. And the 6th time in MAC play. Next one just high. 3-0 the count. 1 gone, runners on the corners. Picnic this year with 18 runs batted in. And he just saw ball 4. Bases are loaded again.
It seems only right that the biggest moment in the game and the biggest moment in this series would be a bases loaded opportunity trailing by 1 in the bottom of the 9th. When you've been 0 for with the bases loaded so far, you have a chance to completely flip that script. All those other opportunities you missed do not matter if you convert here and win this series with the bases loaded and 1 out right now.
Here's Tony Giannini. Ohio trailed 4-0 after 5. Had nothing going until the 8th. Giannini bats now, singled and scored back in the 8th. Walked, grounded out, and struck out. Bases loaded, one gone. Strike on the inside edge from Schrader. How do you think his heart's beating right now?
I think it certainly is. It helps a little bit to get that first pitch over for a strike. Warms you up a little bit and calms you down. You got to use that adrenaline to your advantage, not let it get the best of you.
Garcia at third, Rode at second, Picnic at first. Next one just missed high. It is 1-1. Ohio scored on a wild pitch already. There was a sac fly, then a base hit that scored a run. Now the sacks packed with Cats one more time. Giannini hitting .261. He has 14 runs batted in, and the pitch, bouncing ball just wide of third, foul. It is 1-2.
Yep, exactly. Just heard that, hit it in the air. You do not want to give Eastern Michigan an opportunity to throw out the lead runner at the plate and then maybe even get a tail end double play at first. So as badly as a hard hit ground ball through a hole would be nice, it's also a dangerous thing to put anything on the ground right now.
And in college baseball, anything in the air in the outfield in this situation, they'll be very careful on the throw. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike three. Giannini goes down on strikes, and that is a big K for Dylan Schrader. That is his third on his season only, the second today. It's up to Dan McCauley, who homered last night. He has 2 this year. He has 11 runs batted in. Struck out twice, walked and flew out. Bases loaded and a pinch runner coming in for the Bobcats here.
They're going to pinch run for Rudy at second base to get a little more speed on the base paths. He'll get a bunch of handshakes and high fives as he heads to the dugout. McCauley here at the dish. He had an RBI sac fly in the 8th inning, so an inning ago.
Jack Longo is the pinch runner at second now. So it is Garcia at third, Longo at second, Picnic at first. Schrader for Dan McCauley. Tried to end it on one swing of the bat. Swing and a miss, it's 0-1.
And again, you can end it here with one swing of the bat without leaving the yard right now. You got speedy runner at second now. They're not paying attention to him. Longo has a huge lead, so a single could end it.
The 0-1 just missed high. 1-1 the count. So it took Ohio 7+ innings to get its first run in the ballgame. Ohio's left 9. Another bases loaded crack. 4-3 Eastern, bottom of the 9th. Bases loaded, Schrader for Dan McCauley. Strike called on the outside edge. That was borderline, but it was a good pitch.
He hit his spot.
And it's down to the final strike for the green and white of Ohio. 1-2 the count, 2 gone, bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, 4-3 Eastern Michigan. Schrader trying to slam the door and win the series for EMU. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, ball game over. And Ohio loses the series despite loading the bases in the bottom of the 9th, and Ohio falls 4-3 to Eastern Michigan. Back-to-back Ks to finish off the Cats, and a disappointing weekend comes to an end at Bob Wren, and a doubleheader split for Ohio and EMU. They had a chance, they made it really interesting, they just couldn't get the big hit, and thus 2 strikeouts end the effort for Ohio. Final score, Eastern Michigan 4, Ohio 3. That's the ball game. Stay tuned. Our post-game report is next.